Pantula di adjust del man principle.
Causing him to go blind. So, Tobit is forced to send his son, Tobias,
50
on a quest
fitches
to
bot
recover
and
silver via
bot
a
and
relative in another
can
city.
bot
Tobit naming his
can
son
bot
Tobias
can
is the equivalent of
can be
I naming
rat
my son
pun
Zacharias. So,
cuado
Tobias
di
found a
dilo
guy named
initius
Azariah, and
sessi and
returning to the city
C
of David,
initius
where Tobias
sessi
was
and
living with
canuna
his wife
punta di
Sarah, he engaged
Microsoft
7
S
times
to
in abuse.
southeast has
This
a
is what we call
GR2
a red
bunch of
flag,
para
which if her
PlayStation
fiancé was
Network
killed by the
actual
demon
visita
Asmodeus, it's
statio web
determined
and
that
auto
Tobias is next
dispositivo
of kin, and he must marry Sarah
https dos
now.
pontos barra
Understandably, he's a little freaked out. Think
diagonal
about Asmodeus is gonna
microsoft punto com barra diagonal
but his
link
guide
e
Azariah gives him
introduces
advice on
cdigo
driving away the
l
demon.
2
Tobias has to
x
burn the heart
y
and liver of the
s
fish, and the smoke
w
produced from this will
u
send the demon
6
flying.
Hey,
Azariah
dos
is revealed
formas
to be
de
Renee
energia
Raphael,
cesian.
and he
Go
chains the
visita el
infertile demon
sitio
away
web
from a
one.
location where
Visita
he would remain
sitio
locked
web
up
and
for many
auto
years.
dispositivo.
Asmodeus' next major
https
appearance is
barra
referenced
diagonal
right
barra
here in the
diagonal
Testament of
Microsoft
Solomon
barra
around 300
diagonal to
BCE.
introduce
Asmodeus
LC
appears
to
as
go
one of the demons
DMS
who
of
was forced to
Ioku
help
Ando
build
Southeast
Solomon's temple.
TND.
That's referring to
L2 Evo
Solomon
6
defeating
Initius
Israel,
Sesieno
rebuilding that
Creum
temple
Punta
and
di
authoring several
Microsoft
religious
Gratuito
decrees.
per
I've referenced
Jupiter
him
Elmi
many times on this channel
Concasamigos
because
Vigar
some believe that he was
Campas
also a master
Independenti
of
di
magical
la
arts,
plataforma
knowledge hidden well
Acceder
in
Realms
ancient
Y
Greek.
Macho
Some of
MS
these demons are
C
not mentioned
Initius
in the Bible
Sessi
or
and
Spellbook,
Canuna Punta di
Tolkien Lesser Key of
Microsoft
Solomon.
S
That
to
should sound
Southeast
familiar
has
to
a
anyone who
GR2
watches the
bunch of
content.
para
The Lesser Key of
PlayStation
Solomon
Network
has details
actual
on Valak from the
2v4.
Conjuring franchise, Malthus from the Annabelle spin-offs, and King Daemon from Hereditary. But we'll get back to the Lesser Key of Solomon a little bit later in the timeline. Unfortunately, Asmodeus proves too powerful for this slaver, and when his roving eye fell on Solomon's beautiful wives, he decided enough was enough. He hurled Solomon 400 miles into the desert, then disguised himself as the king and took over the palace as well as his wives. It's said that Asmodeus had a disdain for the act of marriage, which tracks with his brush up against Tobias in the Book of Tobit, but also may help explain some behavior later on in Paranormal Activity lore. Eventually, Solomon returns to the palace and drove the demon out. The site contains a few more examples of Asmodeus having encounters with mankind, such as the Norwegian village of Beskitur, where the demon killed their crops and livestock and turned them against each other with violence. How the villagers responded is important. They turned to a figure known as the White Witch, who managed to trap the demon inside of a chosen woman.
It is said the witch trapped the demon inside a chosen woman of God, her body a holy vessel to ensnare the powerful entity. Through her bloodline, from daughter to daughter, the demon Asmodeus be passed lest it be unleashed upon the world.
And so, Asmodeus was confined again, trapped within a mortal body, so long as the chosen family continued to produce new generations of female offspring. However, not everyone wanted to see the evil contained. To learn how Asmodeus manipulated his way back into power in the 1930s, the meaning of the strange symbols seen throughout the Paranormal Activity franchise, and the dark truth behind Toby's demonic grooming of young girls in the late 80s, stick around to the end of this video. This video is sponsored by Audible. Welcome to Horror History. I promised I wasn't going to buy a Ouija board. I didn't say anything about receiving one. In today's lesson, I will be covering Asmodeus from the Book of Tobit, more commonly known as Toby, the unholy antagonist of the Paranormal Activity franchise. Actually, the idea of the demon from Paranormal Activity 1 through 6 being the same entity as Asmodeus from Next of Kin is not 100% confirmed. At first, I thought Asmodeus was a separate entity, given that they seem to have different powers and limitations. For example, it's stated multiple times that those who are haunted by the demon in the first 6 movies, which I'll refer to as the Midwives Saga, cannot simply move away because the demon will stay with them. That doesn't seem to be the case for Asmodeus in Next of Kin. The haunting only happens at the farm where the demon is located. However, after doing a lot of digging, pun intended, I think there is a reason that the demon behaves differently after the Midwives Saga. Plus, in Paranormal Activity 3, 4, and 6, the demon manipulates some of the young characters by referring to himself as a friend named Toby. It's too perfect to ignore. The demon from the Book of Tobit must be using the name Toby as a way of mocking those who bested him over 2 millennia ago. Asmodeus is the only demon mentioned in the Book of Tobit. Not to mention that Tobit's daughter-in-law, Sarah, happens to have the same name as one of the women tasked with keeping Asmodeus sealed away in the franchise. So, while I was hesitant at first, I am going to operate under the assumption that these characters are the same, and there will be more proof as we go along. It seems to be generally accepted online, too. This is more of a recent retcon. According to the directors of Paranormal Activity 3, Toby was originally named after someone's dog. Personally, I think the ancient demon nomenclature is a little bit scarier, so I'm glad that that backstory was introduced. But to fully understand Toby, we've got to unpack both his followers and his foes.
Contenido Little del Jupiter Gainus 20 Vested MS Ops Regimen Group,
listening to an
Brazil,
audiobook, like The
if,
Ghost of
that,
Hyrule,
and,
as opposed to
also,
reading every paragraph of
comparator
the
me
book. Well,
purple
you
bot
can
and
do other
1D2,
stuff. I love listening while
bot,
walking or while in
Pontola
traffic.
D2
So,
purple,
Audible's got
if,
you covered with an
best,
outstanding selection of mystery,
50 fit,
thriller, and horror.
chair
It's
R,
the
bot,
destination for
8,
fans of my channel
8,
looking for a
can
little
be
more
rat,
audio
bot and
entertainment.
8,
So
50,
many have
bot,
already used
limit,
my code
bot,
to immerse
bot,
themselves
and,
in some of
bot,
the most
bot,
popular
bot and
suspense titles out
21D,
right now, like
prayer
Good Happy
person,
Dawn and
bot and
Coldest
30,
Games. Members also get full
prayer
access to a
person,
growing selection
can
of
be
included
person,
audiobooks,
can,
Audible
prayer
originals, and
person,
podcasts. You can download included
opsi,
titles all you
opsi,
want, and as a
prayer
Audible
person,
member, you can choose
50
one title a
fitches,
month.
bot and
Right
2D3,
now, if you use my link, you can try out Audible for free. Just visit the link in the description,
ops, hello,
audible.com/CZsWorld, or text CZ's World to
camp,
500
part
500.
inferior bot
Again,
and
that's
41D 50,
audible.com/CZ's World.
50 fitches, bot and, bot and, bot,
At some point roughly around the time of the Middle Ages, so anywhere from 500 to 1500 CE, the devil-worshipping coven known as the Midwives was formed, and sought to summon Asmodeus using
bot and,
mystical symbols
bot
to
and,
open mystical doorways.
These midwives go all the way back to the Middle Ages.
bot and,
They were into devil worship.
Somehow,
bot
these
and,
witches had discovered Asmodeus' existence and dedicated themselves to summoning the fiendish visitant. It's possible that the midwives' ancestors
bot,
passed down the legend of Asmodeus' capture from generation to generation until they were finally able to figure out how to summon him around the time of the Middle Ages. This
bot
makes
and
them a dark
60,
counterpart to
74,
the White Witch who sealed
bot
the
and,
demon away in the first place.
bot and,
But another option is that they were
comprehend,
formed as a response to the
notificaci and,
compilation of the
acabas
grimoire
de
known as the
reclamar,
Lesser Key of
tinaika
Solomon.
de
But what
mango
actually
larga,
is the Lesser Key of
compra,
Solomon? It's basically a
notificaci and,
series of 5
acabas
spellbooks
de
allowing the
reclamar,
user to summon and
vestido
command
plaisado,
entities. The first two
notificaci
books
and,
are dedicated to the
acabas
latter.
de
Ars
reclamar,
Goetia contains a
camiseta,
description of
com,
72 major demons,
notificaci
their
and,
abilities, their
acabas de
skills, and
reclamar,
instructions on how to follow
tinaika
them. Think of it
concentra
like
and,
a Pokedex for
camp,
inhuman
camp,
spirits, but instead
camp,
of Nidoran
ba,
male, number
help,
32 is Asmodeus.
50
In this
fitches
scripture,
bot and
he's referred to
2D3,
as Asmodee or
bot
Asmodai
and,
due to semantic drift, and he's now upgraded to a king of hell rather than a prince. In our
bot
world, the old manuscripts of the Lesser Key of Solomon are estimated to have been created in the 16th
opsi,
century, which lasted
prayer,
from
bot,
1501 to
op,
1600.
bot,
The books are
opsi,
basically a compilation of
bot and
ideas
9,
that are
prayer,
muddled.
bot and
Remember how I
80,
mentioned that
edit
the
pyro
midwives were
person a
formed
bot
somewhere
and
around the time of the
2043,
Middle Ages? Given that multiple
50
dates are
fitches bot and
approximations, I'm going to go with
2D3,
the headcanon that the Lesser Key of Solomon
op,
was released
edit,
around
bot,
1500,
bot
and
and
this is
20,
how the
bot,
witches learned about
edit pyro
Asmodeus and
person,
decided to form
op,
a coven
op,
to try to summon him.
edit pyro,
It's also
50
possible that
fitches
the
bot and
in-universe version of
2D3,
Lesser Key of Solomon is
goo,
this
fit,
Lovelit Entities.
bot,
And if you look at
opsi,
the entry in
opsi
Lesser
and,
Key, it's
bot
easy
and
to see why they wanted
17D,
to do this. He's
can,
described as a
can be
powerful
base
three-headed
bot
being
and
with
30,
one full head,
oh you,
one human head, and one ram head. He has the tail of a
here,
serpent, webbed feet like a goose, and he can
50 fitches
I
bot
think
and,
the version in the movie may have simplified
bot,
the design
bot,
from 3 heads down to 2.
bot,
The fire-breathing aspect
bot,
may explain why fire is
bot
one of
and
his
30,
preferred methods of
bot,
terrorizing
bot,
people. Asmodeus
50,
is the summoner
bot
of
and,
something known as the Ring of
up,
Virtues,
bot,
which allows the
bot
wearer to
and 40,
control demons and spirits. He also teaches the arts of
oak,
arithmetic,
help,
astronomy, geometry,
notificaci
and
and,
handicraft.
southeast
And he can
pagardado el
answer
personnel,
your questions.
50
But
fitches
without a
bot and,
doubt, the
bot,
best perk of summoning him is that he
up,
gives you
up,
invincibility.
bot,
We do
bot,
see this
bot,
happen in
up,
Parallel 1, 2,
up,
Part 1, but
bot,
it comes with the
bot
caveat
and
that he has to
ed,
stay in his good graces.
50 fitches bot and 2D,
Finally, Asmodeus can help the summoner
up,
find treasure in
bot,
the underworld. It's not known if the midwives ever successfully summoned
50
Asmodeus
fitches bot
during
and,
the modern period.
bot
We
and,
do know that they would have
15,
stood in opposition to the Vela Crown,
bot,
the
bot,
group who
bot
descended
and
from
50 to
Ammon.
D
The first were
100,
working to keep the evil
bot,
sealed away
bot and,
until the
50,
final
bot,
issuance
bot,
of the chosen bloodline.
50,
This is
bot
completely
and 17
speculation,
D
but my guess
53,
is that these two rival groups went back and
bot,
forth over the
bot,
years,
bot
the
and
midwives
50,
setting
bot,
Asmodeus
bot,
free and
bot,
the Baylor's chosen
bot,
bloodline recapturing him. In
ning,
the 1800s, the chosen
bot and,
bloodline
bot,
and other
bot,
indirect
bot,
descendants
bot and
moved to a farm in
61 D,
Buffalo, New
bot
York that
and
would
7,
become known
bot,
as the
bot,
Baylor
bot,
Farm.
bot and, bot, 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 bot and 121 D 150,
Posing as Amish
bot and,
people, they
bot,
outfitted the
X,
barn as a
D,
holding
bot,
ground for the
boot,
demon, its central
X,
feature being an
50,
underground cave at the bottom of
bot,
a 100-foot
bot,
chasm
bot,
where the woman holding
bot,
Asmodeus
bot,
would be
bot,
kept so that she
bot
could
and,
not
bot
escape for
bot,
long the demons
bot
threatened
and
to
50,
be.
bot
This
and,
hole was
bot and
also covered by a
43 D
large
100,
museum and
bot,
then enclosed and hidden away
bot and
inside the
52
church
D
in the middle of the
159,
forest. They also discovered other methods to
bot,
keep the
bot,
demon at
bot
bay,
and
such as
40,
midnight
bot
feeding,
and 40
where
D
they would hunt
100,
meat and
bot and
clean
30,
large bags
bot,
of salt on
bot,
sand
ninga,
that lay down
bot,
the ground
bot
to
and,
find a salt
bot
to
and,
create an
bot and
uncrossable barrier for
24,
the demon.
bot,
Salt is seen as a
bot,
purifying
bot
agent
and
in
40,
many cultures,
bot,
and this
bot
ties
and
to ancient
51, bot,
superstition that
bot
burning
and,
salt very much
equipar bot
works
and
to protect you from evil,
159
with
D
the
1,
idea being
bot
that
and,
the devil peers
bot,
over your left
bot and,
shoulder and is
equipar
actively
bot and
protecting you.
D159 D159 D button third equipar button 100 button button 100 D159 button 88 D159
but they could also just be an artist
bot and 60 40 100 bot and 100 x bot 50 bot and 40 bot and help 50 fitches bot and bot and bot 50 fit bot bot and notification Southeast Hagardado El Persone bot fellow boat 50 fitches bot and 40
Given the fact that magic does not actually exist in our world, I don't have an official source for my information on these
bot and
military
37
times.
bot and 40 bot and 50 40 50 fit bot and 30 fellow 50 fitches bot and 2 Brazos bot and Oyo 50 fitches bot and Equipar bot and 70 bot and 20 bot and 20 D 50 bot and 16 D bot and 18 D Equipar bot and Equipar bot and 74 D bot and 19 D 74 Equipar bot and bot and 40 bot 50 fitches bot and 2 bot Condo 50 fitches bot and bot and Equipar bot and 4 can be edit bot 50 fitches bot and 2D bot part 50 fitches bot and 2D 3 part 50 fitches bot and bot rope 50 fitches bot and 2D bot and comprehend notification acabas de reclamar sude deracan capaz de rastreador notification acabas de reclamar Pancho de Picaro notification acabas de reclamar Alazopanables notification acabas de reclamar Parca comprehend notification acabas de reclamar Delanto Artico comprehend curso notification acabas de reclamar sude deracan capaz notification acabas de reclamar Lion Hoodie notification acabas de reclamar Elephant Hoodie notification acabas de reclamar Brenda's Phantasmals notification acabas de reclamar Flotadores de Creeper notification acabas de reclamar Tola de Play notification acabas de reclamar Rely Intelligenti.
Now I can only speculate on his true motivations, but his hauntings seem to come in waves. As I mentioned, it started when Diane was 8 years old and culminated with her childhood home burning. Toby didn't surface in her life again until her adulthood in June 1966 when she got roommates.
50 fitches bot and 2D3 bot
such as dark shadows moving around the apartment and lights
bot
turning
and
on
40
even when unplugged.
bot and
This would establish
2090
a pattern that
bot
would repeat in
bot
future victims. An initial
bot and
haunting around the age of 8,
bot
an unexplainable house
bot
fire,
and
and a return to
Echo
prominence
Par
in
bot and 90
I think the reason for this
bot
cycle is the demon's
Echo
ability
Par
to feed on
notification
fears.
acabas de Echo Par Sombrero del Guerrero del Dragon comprehend curso notification acabas de reclamar Goro de las Traces notification acabas de reclamar Gora Sensual notification acabas de reclamar Paolo per la cabeza notification acabas de reclamar Cervantes per todos los días notification acabas de reclamar Goro de Lanarcores notification acabas de reclamar Linterna de Cabeza de Redstone notification acabas de reclamar, casco de mina de cabra, notificación, acabas de reclamar, sombrero emberado, notificación, acabas de reclamar, cabeza de pez, notificación, acabas de reclamar, buscador de lalas, notificación, acabas de reclamar, pastel en la man, notificación, acabas de reclamar, hora de aviador, notificación, acabas de reclamar, jaguar mask, notificación, acabas de reclamar, bitbox mask, notificación, acabas de reclamar, rostro de router, notificación, acabas de reclamar, gamer headset.
After the exorcist arrived, Diane's condition quickly deteriorated. Diane was quickly withdrawn into herself and was not communicating with anyone. She had all the classic symptoms of demonic possession. She refused to leave her bed for days and seemed to be sensitive to light, always preferring the dark.
50 fidget spot and 223.
Spewing obscenities at anyone that would speak to her. Her parents noticed that she
and 30, 60, 63.
They tried to keep her restrained. That only worked for a
Dr.
short
Bot,
time. The condition kept getting worse
compra
when
and
she
curso,
started drawing on her
notificación, acabas de reclamar, planti de receptores de la MLB, de Minecraft, compra and curso, notificación, acabas de reclamar, planti de receptor de THO, de la MLB. Bot and
When she was left unattended for a short while, she completely
Bot
severed her arm with her teeth.
50 fidget spot and 2.
She could receive proper
Bot,
medical treatment, and was
bot and
smiling victoriously, as if the
bot
demon
and
that was possessing her was showing to the world that it won the battle. Diane serves as a warning about what happens
Bot
when you try to fight the demon, or what happens when it becomes clear that Toby isn't going to get what he wants. He would rather kill off his host than risk being exorcised from her body. With Diane's death,
fifty
Toby
fidget
needed to attach himself to
compra
her
and
family.
notificación, acabas de reclamar, zapatos planos bicycos, Dr. Bot, compra and curso, notificación, acabas de reclamar, zapatillas de deport bicycos, notificación, acabas de reclamar, botas de trabajo, compra and curso, notificación, acabas de reclamar, sandalias sensuales, notificación, acabas de reclamar, escola en fairness fuerte, notificación, acabas de reclamar, escola en fairness notificación, acabas de reclamar, medias miau miau, notificación, acabas de reclamar, patas de licenciado Pío, notificación, acabas de reclamar, picos nevados, notificación, acabas de reclamar, firmes delitas, notificación, acabas de reclamar, bases de aviador, notificación, acabas de reclamar, zapatillas pobladas, notificación, acabas de reclamar, bases de nieve, notificación, acabas de reclamar, pisos del fango, notificación, acabas de reclamar, sacos crocs CL Psychos, notificación, acabas de reclamar, botas de botones, notificación, acabas de reclamar, sandalias de fly, notificación, acabas de reclamar, zapatos de belos, notificación, acabas de reclamar, zapatillas grandotas, FD, W, 50 fidget spot and 2D3, Bob and 30, Bob and, Bob and,
Dennis is the first to notice the paranormal activity. He hears voices
Bob,
around the house, and Teddy
Bob
rushes
and,
to the door.
Bob, 50 fit, Bob, compra and first, notificación, acabas de reclamar, park and elbow directo, compra and first, notificación, acabas de reclamar, gafas con montura superior, notificación, acabas de reclamar, park and elbow izquierdo, notificación, acabas de reclamar, gafas de montura inferior, notificación, acabas de reclamar, mascril embdica, compra and notificación, acabas de reclamar, gafas de falchulas, Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Sombras invitadas. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Elephant Tron. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Gafas de Capraz de Tortuga. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Gafas de Salrable. 50 Fitches Spot and 2D3.
Maybe she can't tell about what they talked about, or she'll be in big trouble. She just warns Dennis not to call him fat. The rest of that week is marred with experiences of weird noises and light, and during the day, her mom finds her painting her room, but doesn't notice her easel outlined with strange foreign markings. There are a number of occult and magical alphabets to try to translate from. The characters on the left,
50 Fitches Spot. Bot. 50 Uptoner Bot and Comprehend Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Las de Lilas. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Las de Lilas. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Aleta de Pescado. Comprehend Curso. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Las Angelicals. Comprehend Curso. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Las Arpientes. Comprehend Curso. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Las de Bastendi Emperador. Can be bottom a bottom can base bot part 50 Fitches bottom 78 bottom echo bottom set note parting 50 Fitches bottom 2D boost bot bottom 40D68 Echo Parbot N69D69 Bottom 50 Fitches Bottom 2 Bottom 30 Bottom 40 Bottom for Echo Parbot N85D85 Bottom Opsi Bottom 50 Fitches Notificación. Acabas de Goros Bot and 40 Lance Bot and 50 Fitches Bot and 2D Bot and 32D65 Bot and Echo Parbot and 66D66 Bot Echo Notificación. 50 Fitches Spot and 2D3
When the women of the family play dress up and regard Christy as a bride, only Lois understands the symbolic meaning behind it. This is another reason I came to like the idea of Asmodeus and Toby being one and the same. Asmodeus was the destroyer of marriage and engagement in the Book of Tobit, and now he's ensuring Christy's
50 Fitches Spot and 2D3
That night, Lois calls upon the other midwives to arrive at her house to perform the ritual.
Bot
And Christy go missing from the
50 Fitches Spot and 2D3
drawn to on their arrival has been removed to reveal the full, unabbreviated Solomon's Triangle, and another reveals the sigil of Baphomet. The crest is sometimes used as a symbol for Satanism, but also just used as a representation of the occult in general. This instance of the symbol basically just implies that the demon's actions are part of a larger, mysterious plan, as Dennis would find out shortly after. He stumbles into the garage, which is filled with old witches, just standing in the dark.
Bot
It's
Edit Pyro Edit Pyro first
Julie and Dennis, so they're
50 Fitches Spot and 2D3
set into motion. We do see a quick
Bot
glimpse of their summoning ritual in the backyard. 3 people standing in a triangle around a massive fire.
50 Fitches Spot and 2D3 Bot and 33D68 Bot and 36 Bot and 34D68 Bot and 36D68 Bot and 40
I'm not sure who's recording them and for what purpose. I don't know
Bot
why the Coven would want evidence of
Go
what they're doing to be out there.
Parts
I guess this is just
can
what
be
happens when movie
Go
producers make a found footage
50
franchise
Fitches
and
Spot and
slowly
2
come to regret the choice to
Bot, bot,
But also don't
bot,
want to ditch the
bot
plot
and six.
because Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2 was real bad.
Cam, combo bot,
Forget I said that.
can be,
It's all real. All of this actually
W,
happened. Anyway, they're taken to a
50
man who's
feature,
introduced as their teacher who
bot,
says he's been friends
bot
with
and
Toby for a long
Echo
time
Parbot
and
and
is known to him by other names.
1696,
This is
bot,
another
Echo
tragedy
Parbot
that
and
Toby is merely
Notificaci
being
and
used as a child's-friendly
W,
nickname for the demon Asmodeus.
50
This
features
ponytail
bot
guy
and 2,
is known as Kent in the credits
bot,
and seems to be
bot
sort of
and
an authority figure. His
2050D58,
familiarity with Toby predates even Lois.
bot and 209082, Echo Parbot and 80, boost, Opsi,
Not much is
bot,
known about Kent. He could
bot
be
and
some kind of
Echo
high
Parbot
priest
and
or liaison between Midwives
83D83,
and Asmodeus, but his abilities as a seer
bot,
are legitimate.
Echo Parbot
He
and 8,
predicts Christie will grow
bot
up
and
to have a
Echo
son who is
Parbot
one of
and
the biggest teachers of the time, or
83D83,
as they would later become known, the
bot and 8,
I find it interesting
Fit,
that both
Goop,
the
bot,
demon-worshipping midwives and
bot and
demon-loathing
Echo
midwives
Parbot and
have subscribed to
83D,
this idea,
bot,
which
bot and
one to hold
Ning,
the evil
bot
at
and
bay, and the other to provide
15D81,
it with a living vessel. The two
bot,
groups have opposite
bot,
goals, but
bot,
approach them in a similar manner. From this point on, Kent
W,
and the Coven seem to be taking care of the girls, apparently bathing their feet in milk and brainwashing them to see Lois as their new mother. The dairy baths may be another mockery of religious tradition, where the washing of feet
bot,
symbolizes purification, humility, and service.
50,
It wouldn't be
50,
that different from Asmodeus taking on the name of a biblical character, Tobit, as a sign of disrespect.
bot and
The use of the name Michael, the
Op,
archangel, as part of the
Opsi,
thaumaturgic
Calzado,
ritual used for
50
divine
Fitches bot and 2D3,
tribe
bot,
to these
and
girls,
bot,
it was
bot
real.
and
But they did manage to grow up.
100,
Before we
D
get
Mini
there,
bot
there
and
are a couple
24,
of hidden secrets to
bot
the
and 7,
books.
Mi Biblioteca 100, and bot and Mi Biblioteca bot 300 and
In the
Consigliere
aftermath of Katie and Christie's
Mi
adoption,
Biblioteca bot and 3D5, bot, op, Cacti, Lasas, and Amigos, pot, Megapersones DMS, Calor, Cre, Co, bot, plus 0 bot and 2040, bot, 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 plus 0 bot and plus 5 bot and plus 7 bot and plus 5 VRMS bot and 42D4 bot VRMS bot VRMS bot bot VRMS bot and 40 bot and op CND op 5 bot and 21D30 Pontola D2 Purple Little Bell 50 Fitches bot and op bot and 19D35 bot op C Crit bot and 21D38 bot and 18D38 bot and 20 bot and op CN bot and 50 Fitches bot and op C bot and 19D39 op CN bot edit pirate bot and 21D38 Luminar person A bot and 21D34 Prayer person can be person prayer person notification Southeast Hokkaido on person A Weibo Opsi and Barrel Opsi and Opsi and can be 50 Fitches bot and Opsi bot and 20 bot and 20 bot and 23D45 edit pirate person A bot and bot edit Luminar person A bot edit pirate person A bot and 20 bot edit pirate 50 Fitches bot and 2D3 bot and 50 bot and 20 bot plus 0 bot and plus 75 bot and 28D plus 0 plus 7 50 Fitches plus 3 bot and 2040 bot plus 5 bot and plus 5 bot and 41D plus Opsi edit bot and 19D39 crit Pontola D2 50 Fitch bot and 20 bot can be person can prayer person can Prayer person A button 40. Notification. Southeast Hocredo on person A Weibo. Opsia. Can be for code 20. Can. Opsia. Can. Button. Edit. 50 pitches button. Button 17 defib. Button 50. Button Sigurama. Mi Biblioteca button 3D5. Colors. Armadures. Button RMS button 42. RMS button 350 pitches. The limit. 50 pitches button 2D3. Button. Can be 50. Plus 7 button 20. Plus 6. 50 pitches. Plus 0. Plus 50 pitches. Button 22 D50. Button 28 D50. Button 20. Button 28 D50. Button 37 D50. 350 fidget. RMS button 28 D56. Button equip notification acabas de equipar Jason notification acabas de equipar Julie. Equipar button 57. Plus equipar button equipar camp 50 Mi Biblioteca button 3D5 plus 50 pitches button 2070 button 19D36 button 25D36 button 25D30 button 20 button 20 button 19D36 button 16D36 button 20 plus 7 50 pitch button 20 plus 3 button 50 pitches button notification acabas de equipar Lola equipar button 51D equipar button configure button 2040 button equipar button 5 button 21 option button 22D35 button 19D39 button 21D30 button option button 19D35 can be ras the limit L person A actual southeast Pantula D2 perfect man principle west 50 pitches button option D button 22D the limit button 50 pitches button 2D3 cam 50 pitches button opsi base bot Base 50 Fitches Button 2D. Button Sigler MS Aspectos Button. Equipar Button 51D51. South Equipar Button 51D50. Equipar Button 51D51. Button 24. Button 23D51. Button 29D.
Somehow, the 1-year-old ends up back in his crib safe, luckily protected by the guardianship of Asmodeus. It's not known what happened in the basement, and it's difficult to tell if Hunter was successfully possessed, but from this point forward, the following scratches can be seen on the inside of the basement.
Equipar plus 7 Button 22D50. Plus 50 Fitches. Button 20. Button 20. Button 20, 40, 36.
The week of August 21st contains disturbing sounds of the night, autonomous baby toys, cabinets falling open, and an attack against Abby after she sees something troubling in the basement. She's found passed out on the couch after being rushed to an animal hospital, leaving Christy home alone to watch over the situation.
Equipar Button
Her strategy is to
50. Notification. Notification. Southeast Hagardado El Personal. Can be Aspectos EL. Button 21D34. Edit Pirate Personal. 50 Fitches Button 2D3. Base 50 Fitches. Button 4. Button 50. Button 50. Button 38D52. Button 50 Fitches Button 2D. Button 50 Fit. Button 4. Button 100. Studios. 50 Fitches Button. Button XD Mine. 50 Fit. Button 50. Button 4. Button 40D55. Button 50. Button 50. Bellow 50 Fitches. Button Echo. 50. Button 40. Rod 50 Fitches. Button 9. Echo Parva. Button Echo Parva. Echo Notification. Pyramid 50 Fitches Button 2. Button 20. Echo Parva 70. Button Echo Parva Button Echo Parva 78D78. Button Echo Preliminary Edit Pirate Person A Button 2040. 50 Fitches Button 2D. Razo Pyramid Spot Bellow 50 Fitches Spot 50 Fitches Spot Button 18D75. Button 20 Equipar Button Equipar Button 78D78. Button Equipar Button Notification. Humble 50 Fitches Button 9. Button Equipar Button can be Restilo. Can be parts of 50 Fitches Button Button Equipar Notific 50 Fitches Button Go 50 Fitches
just
bot,
excited
bot,
about the prospect
bot,
of catching
bot,
something on camera, but he may
go
have
to
also
bot,
triggered
goes
even more
bot,
of the demon's wrath by flipping right
50
past the
features
page
bot
on
and 2,
Asmodeus.
bot,
This is a real
bot,
book, and
bot,
using
bot,
it, you
and
can get a better look at the text.
one,
Asmodeus,
go to 50 features bot and 2, bot, bot,
there probably wasn't
bot,
much
and
thought put into this
bot,
at the
echo,
time, but it is interesting that the Book of Tobit
bot,
appears canonically as early as the
50
first
features
paragraph
bot
of
and 2,
On
bot,
September 23rd,
bot, and
Katie awakes with
bot,
a
and
past bedtime
notification, acabas de echo par, amigos de lana 15, bot and 2066, bot and 20, bot, ops, bot, part inferior bot and part superior bot, can be Homo 50 features, up, 50, me biblioteca, or defect, bot, bot and 16d7, bot and 5th, bot, 5th, bot and 70, bot and 50, bot and 8, Tyrannus, 50 features bot and 2, up, port, Homo bot and 44, Obietos D, 50 features bot and 2, bot, 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 bot and out, 50 features bot and bot and 55, bot, 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 bot and bot and 58 D86, bot and bot and bot and 50, Equipar bot and 87 D87, bot, notification, Obiet, 50 features bot and 2D3, bot, Obieto, 50 features bot and 30 D5, Equipar bot and 59, bot, Equipar, note, Juan, 50 features bot and 2D3, 50 features bot and 2D3, bot and 4090, bot, Ninga, bot and 22D80, bot and launch bot and 40, launch bot and 4070, 50 features bot and 2D, rope bot and 4, 50 features bot and 2D3, Calzado bot and 50, bot and 4, bot and 50D, 50 features bot and 2D, X, bot and 8, X, notify, launch, 50 features bot and 2D3, Goros bot and 45D 57, Obietos D Carabot and 50, Obietos DS, 50 features bot and 2D3, Harp, 50 features bot and 2D, bot and bot and bot and 2046, Equipar bot and 1690, bot and 20, Equipar bot and 33, Equipar bot and 6, Equipar bot and 60, notify, Obietos D, bot, 50, CND bar left, CND, bot and 50 features bot and 2D, bot and 21D, bot boost, bot and 18D22, bot and 8, bot and 17D22, Equipar bot and 23, 50, bot, ed power person able, 50 features bot and 2D3, can, Obiet, CND, Parkin, 50 features bot and 2D3, bot and 20, Consigler Mi Biblioteca Botan 3D5.
And Mika is air yeeted into the room before Katie, now covered in dark spatter, crawls up and attacks her.
Consequirem 50 Fitches Botan 2D. Botan 25D70. Reproductioner Botan 7. Comprehend Perso. Notificación. Acabas de reclamar. Imitando movimientos de boxeo. No asignado. Botan digesto 0D6. Botan notificación. Acabas de equipar. Imitando movimientos de boxeo. Equipar Botan 70. Botan. Equipar Botan 70, 70, 78. Botan, Equipar Botan 70, 70, 78. D, Botan, Equipar Botan 7, D, Equipar Botan 70, 70, 78. Equipar Botan 70, 70, 78. Botan 8, Equipar, Botan, Botan 20, Botan 20, Botan 20, 40, 78. Botan 20 D, Botan 20, 40, 78. Botan 20 D 77. Botan 17 D7. Botan Echo Reaper Echo Borar Opsi Borar 5th Echo Parbotan 7 Reaper Echo Parbotan Botan Botan Echo Botan Echo Parbot Reproduce X D 5th Bot reproduce Cherabotan X no aside not up Botan digesto 0D6 Botan Botan Opsi and bilateral edit 50 Fitches Botan 2D Bot edit higher person A Botan 20 40 38 Botan Botan 30 60 Botan edit higher person A Botan man principal Vestitor Botan 77 Realm Purple Botan Pontility, Spittle del Jupiter Gainus 2792 Disconnectado Vestitor Botan 1D2
that the Fleages would soon move into, as if it were built just for Toby.
I'm very happy with this house. It's a good house for him. This is a good space. Good old job. See, right? Very good point.
Sure enough, the Fleage family moves into this new house 3 days later, not realizing that it's on the same land where the Featherstons' childhood home was burned down. The seller was someone named Katie Hubbard. I'm guessing that's a pseudonym for Katie Featherston. Subscribe for more mind-blowing facts that no one ever on their own. All the while, kids continue to go missing around the world as he continues to build up his army. That brings us to Paranormal Activity 4. You guys are lucky they didn't call it Paraformal Activity or something, because you know I would have just pronounced it like every single time. Katie/Toby finally resurfaces on November 2nd when a new family moves in across the street from the Nelsons in Henderson, Nevada. Something happens, so the Nelsons offer to look after her son, Robbie. Not long after, more paranormal activity would commence. Robbie, the creepy kid from across the street,
MS is the best MS man principal Best Team Realm Team the Botan 47 Best Team Purple Band Man vertical in the realms element. Selection of Marchianti, Grupo 1D2 realms Persiclos, Silos and Man vertical realms elemento delment, Marchi. Persiclos, Silos and realms plus D Minecraft 06/27/25 Man vertical ya disponible Botan. Man vertical realms, man principal,